Everybody, we got about 30 more minutes of morning left. It's Thursday, October 2nd. Hope everybody's doing okay today. Hope everybody's feeling well. Taking this little walk. Like I said, it's a little later in the day than it normally is for me. I want to thank you guys for checking in, being a part, sharing your time here with me. As always, as you check in, drop in down below where you're checking in from, what time of day it is where you are. Please share and be a part of the walk and talk. Today, we're talking about the difference between making things happen and letting things happen. It's significant because there can be results when you let things happen. You can still achieve results because just the process of being present when the things are happening can help you or allow for you to arrive at a result. But it's not the same as making things happen, which is when you intentionally, with purpose, with forethought and planning, take action to achieve a specific goal. When we're focused on making things happen, it changes a lot in our life. It changes a lot in the way we speak, what we hear, how we engage, the direction we go in, the way we talk to ourselves, the way we talk to others, what we filter into our life. It's all based on letting things happen or making things happen. You have to think about it. You have to care enough about it to be involved in making it happen. Or you let things happen. Now, here's the thing. Some people let things happen and convince themselves that they're making those things happen. It's little tricks that give you the, the imagery or the facade of control, the facade of making the decision and deciding the direction, when in all actuality, you are just along for the ride. It's important to know when you are making things happen, you're also taking responsibility for the things that haven't happened. You're taking ownership for the things that have not happened. There's two sides to it. Why is that important? Well, being able to understand that where you are is where you've chosen to be, and you've arrived here for a purpose and with intention means a lot. Hey everybody, how you doing? Thanks for stopping in. Regina and is that Manish Singh? Hi, how you guys doing? Welcome to the Walk and Talk. I am up here out in the afternoon. This is the little view from the top of the hill that I have. I like to come up here and usually early in the morning, take a look at this, appreciate the scenery. Thank you. Hats available. There's a link in the bio on the page. You can pick up hats, t-shirts, sweatshirts. All the merchandise is available right there. B&V Finance Fixers. So stop in, take a look. Manish. It is beautiful out. You want to see it, you want to be able to appreciate it. Now, that's one of the things that I found very interesting about much of the way I had lived my life in the past. I lived my life in a way where things were happening, even things that happened around me. I was convinced that I was making things happen when I was just a part of the process of making things happen. And the way we get tricked into this is because someone else can make something happen and you can be there, be a part of it, be along for the ride while it's happening. You can even contribute to it happening, but someone else is making it happen. See, it's like there's this belief that anything that you put your hands on, you made happen. Anything you touch, you get credit for. Well, the flaw in that is that there are always things happening. And when the work is put in place to make it happen, and then you find yourself present at the time when it does happen, doesn't mean you made it happen. You're a contributor, but to make something happen, you need to be able to develop a plan and understand how to become proactive, to become engaged, and not a bystander, not simply standing around waiting for someone else to come up with this idea that you want to be a part of. Money Green, how you doing? Noah, welcome, brother. How you doing, man? Good to see you. Manish, no, I'm a married man. You can visit my family channel. It's Baby Birds. My wife runs the family channel page. Got a wife, I got 7 kids, happily married. Thank you for asking. I asked my dad if I got and talk to dad. So here's the big thing. I know for much of the public, for many of the people who are out working, many of the people who are living their life day to day, daily life living, participating in all the things that are beneficial to them, that quite often they believe, hey, I'm making things happen. Now, you can make things happen, right? Like you can, like little steps, right? This isn't always about, hey, make yourself a millionaire. It's about little things, right? I can make lunch happen, right? With intention, right? I can make lunch happen. I'm going to plan my lunch. I know what I'm going to get. I know where I'm going to get it. I know how I'm going to get it. I'm going to plan it. I'm going to pre-order it. And then it's going to be nice. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to enjoy it. Congratulations, you made that happen, right? You took purposeful steps. It was intentional, right? So the big deal is to understand, in order for you to do that, in order for you to make those steps, take those strides, you have to be involved in planning, organizing, and being thoughtful and doing the work necessary to get there. This also includes our life. We don't want to be bystanders in our own life. We don't want to stand around and hope that someone says something or provides us with the opportunity to do things in our life where we can take advantage of getting things done ourselves. I believe it's a very, very strong principle. It's something that many of us, I'm hungry now. You can make lunch happen, be intentional, no. So it's a very strong thought principle behind understanding that when you focus with intention on achieving a goal, it allows for growth. It makes you more powerful. It makes you stronger. It should, for most of us, make us more engaged. It should make us more comfortable. It gives us more strength. That it is a challenge because there is the weight of carrying that responsibility, which for many people, that's the thing we're looking to avoid, right? So I've had opportunities in the past to start businesses and make investments in things that were going to be solely on my shoulders. And I looked back and I found in more situations than not, my concern was, what if I don't perform to the level that they expect? What if I can't do it the way they're doing it? Those types of things led me to be hesitant, led me to be fearful, led me to finding something more comfortable and making things happen for other people. And so I found that the skills that I had worked in a specific area, and they would compensate me because I was pretty good at applying those skills. And so I worked for companies that said, hey, we want you to use these leadership skill sets and this communication that you're good at and connecting with people. We want you to use it to build our team so that we can perform at a higher rate in our company. And that's great. And I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna make this happen. And so I go out and I'm participating in achieving sales goals and hitting the high mark on things. But these achievements are me helping someone else make something happen. I am a part of their process of making something happen. The key that I'm trying to point out here, the thing that I'm trying to make clear here, is that in order for us to say we're making something happen, we need to have a plan at the beginning. Now, here's how you can work in that space. You can say, hey, it's not a problem. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying helping other people make things happen is a bad thing. But I am saying in that process, you have to have something in it for you. And so if your plan is to understand, hey, this company, I have the skill, I'm gonna help this company achieve these goals, they're gonna move forward, they're gonna grow, you have to put your thing in there to it. You're not gonna move forward and you're not gonna grow without me growing, right? And that's when it becomes work on yourself as much as you work on your job. Working harder on yourself than you do on your job, because when you're doing this work to help this business achieve these goals, which is laudable, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to care about the work you do and invest in being successful and productive in that space. That's not a bad thing. What you have to do at that point, though, is you have to consider your growth along with it. And that's when you start making things happen versus letting things happen. You have to say, okay, here's where I am, here's where I intend to be, right? So you can be in a space as a senior manager, a middle manager, you can be entry level. It doesn't matter where you are, where you're starting, or how good you are at what you do. What matters is once you get started at it and you start doing it and you say, hey, what about me? That's on you. You can't wait for the company to decide we're gonna make this promotion happen for you. You have to make that happen. You have to make that decision of where you wanna be next, how much time and effort you're gonna put into it. You need to figure out where can I be next, what's available for me, because in a lot of situations, it's just not available. The company you work for may not have these opportunities available for you, but don't worry about it. Doesn't mean that you just up and leave the company. It just means you continue to focus on what you've been focusing on, which is making it happen, even if it has to happen somewhere else, right? So, is that Yogurt Assassin? I'm lactose intolerant, Yogurt Assassin says. I'm planning, Wow, Yogurt, you gonna just drop that and leave? Okay. Wish you the best. Foxy said, praying for you. Yogurt, Jesus loves you. Here's the thing. It becomes a needed understanding for ourselves to be able to look at our goals, where we're going, what we're attempting to achieve, and how to be able to get there, right? We need to be able to ascertain for ourselves the steps we need to take so that we actually take those steps. For many of us, we can't figure those steps out. We can't figure out what we want to do next. We're lost as to how to do it. And really, we can't get started because we don't know how to get started. We need to learn that part. We need to investigate it. We need to get a better understanding of it. And what I say all the time is, hey guys, it's not easy. It's not easy. Don't be under the impression that it's as easy to do as it is to say, right? Like, we never need to be under, and I'm not trying to convince you that, hey, you spend 15 minutes saying this affirmation in the morning and you spend 30 minutes doing this and everything's going to be fixed. everything is going to be perfect. Not saying that at all. Reason I'm not saying that is because as far as I've seen, as far as I've experienced, that's just not true. It's going to take time, it's going to take effort, it's going to take work, it's going to take you being prepared to go through some challenges, right? That's growth at the heart of its development, right? That's making things happen in the center of making things happen are the challenges that you overcome, which is the definition of making it happen, right? It's overcoming the things that are before you, the things that are, whether it's knowledge that needs to be gained, whether it's tools that need to be acquired, whether it's a skill set, it doesn't matter. It is important to understand that is part of your development process. That is part of your growth process. That has to be part of what you're doing, what you're working on, and what you're focused on. Because by doing so, you radically increase the opportunity of you being successful at making it happen. Again, thank you guys for stopping in. It's good to see you as always, guys. As you stop in, make sure you let me know where you're checking in from, what time of day it is where you are. Love to be able to hear and share with you guys, see what you're up to on this Thursday. It is now 12:05 in the afternoon here on the East Coast of the United States. Where are you guys at? What are you up to today? Taking this walk. It was a little chilly earlier. Temperature's dropping a little bit. Hi, how you doing? Thanks for stopping in. As you guys know, for those of you who've been here before, you know, here at B&V Finance Fixers, we're all about development, motivation, growth, understanding that building a legacy starts at home, understanding that the work that needs to be done is unquestionable. And so in order to make sure we're getting the work done, we're achieving the goals, and we're moving and growing in the way we want to, it takes intentional steps. And that's what I'm talking about today, is the difference between making things happen and letting things happen. It's very, very scary because it's possible to let things happen and be successful at it. I don't know who Pooja is. Like I just said, I'm married. I got a wife and I got 7 kids. So you're out of here. I don't know you, never met you, never talked to you, so you're getting out of my chat. Thank you very much. So the thing is, when we start talking about our own growth, our own development, and actually achieving specific goals for ourselves, it requires for us to do the hard work, right? It requires for us to manage our behaviors, manage our interactions, our thoughts, our words, and manage them in a way that they go towards us achieving our goals versus living passively. Miss Foxy said, I need information on how to invest. I never know how, where to start. Okay, can't just give you flat information. I'm not gonna do that, Foxy. My question for you is, what is your outlook? What are you looking to achieve from your investment? What do you want to see from your investment? If you don't mind sharing that in the chat, let me know what is it you want to see from your investment. Because this ties in directly with what we're talking about between making things happen and letting things happen. Many jobs now offer 401ks. They offer ESPP, which is an employee stock purchasing program. They offer these ways where you don't have to do anything. You just let the money come out your check and they'll put it away for you. That's letting things happen. What you're talking about now is understanding for yourself how to make things happen. Okay? Retirement, financial freedom, self-employed. Okay, so being self-employed, you're already investing in your business, right? What is the growth potential of your business? And do you intend on selling the business? That's important because we need to see how this works, right? We have to understand a few variables to know exactly what we're going to do. Because if you are self-employed, you have a business, does it make more sense for you to invest more in your business or to invest in stocks, which is investing in someone else's business, right? So if you believe your money serves you better by having a 5 or 6% return year over year versus it having whatever the possible return would be by investing it into your business, then that we have to figure that out before we take the next step. I have a room for some growth, but won't sell. I've had it now for 16 years. Okay, and what exactly is the business, Foxy? So you do have room for growth. You don't want to sell it. What exactly is the business? What does it do? What's the field it's in? 16 years, you've already overcome the challenging part, right? You've already overcome the 5 years, will we survive? You're at this point now at 16 years where you're probably seeing some growth. Family care home facility, got you. So, family care home facility, do you work in the facility? Are you a day-to-day manager? Do you assist with the beds? Do you go out and provide the services? Do you make the sales calls? How much of that do you do? Okay. My oh my, self-employed. Who's that? Judio? I'll plug on my vids. We're gonna raise marketing. So Foxy says sometimes, and one-on-one staff person. I do a lot of that. Okay. Judio says I'm in the medical field, all support. So here's what I'm gonna offer for you, Foxy. As you just heard me say a moment ago, there are options. You can invest in somebody else's business, or you can invest in yours. Here's what you have to understand right now is, don't take this as an insult. You don't have a business now. You've bought yourself a job. The key, right? That's why you're saying I'm self-employed. The key to a business is you own it and then you let people do the work, right? Think of it as a stockholder, right? If you buy stock in a company, you own a portion of that company. You're not going in there and sweeping floors. You're not making sales calls. You're a part owner of this company, and you get returns, dividends, and payouts based on the amount of your investment. Right now, you own a job, and you get returns and payouts on that. I believe your current investment, after 16 years, I believe your current investment is investing in such a way in your business that you don't have to work in it anymore, right? Because that frees you up to, that gives you that freedom you're looking for, right? So if you're pulling, right? So if you're pulling out of the business profits on a regular basis, and you're like, hey, well, what should I invest my profits in? Because I want to have freedom and I want to be able to retire, invest them in your business. Because if you invest in your business and you bring on more people and you bring on more clients and you generate a higher return and you get yourself additional facilities, that's going to give you your freedom, your freedom so you can retire, right? So the way to make money and the key for money, the responsibility for money is put your money to work. Make your money make money for you. So right now, you're self-employed. You bought yourself a job. How do you go from having a job, 16 years you've worked on this job, how do you go from there to turning it into a business? Because turning it into a business frees up your times. Judio says, Foxy says, I run the business, have one person helping me. I hear you. Teach that one person to do what you do and then hire somebody else to do what they do. Can you see me, guys? Am I back up? Yeah, there we go. So like I was saying, Foxy, teach that one person to do what you do and then hire somebody else to do their job. And then work on growing the business. Work on adding more beds, more bodies, more services. So now you need to hire somebody else, because every time you hire someone, right, it's like Monopoly. Every time you put a house up, doesn't matter where you put it up, every time you put a house up, you get more money back. It's not gonna all come back to you at $30,000, $50,000 at a time, but it's gonna come back to you. Because if one person can care for 5 people, then 2 people can care for 10. Then it gets exponential. 3 people can care for 20. Even though you're only doing 1 for 5, because we have more staff, we can take care of more people. You start to grow exponentially. The current investment that you need to do right now, I would say focus on this, because you know the field. You've been in it for 16 years. Turn your job into a business. If you turn your job into a business, then you start looking at, hey, this business pays for my life. My money makes money in this business. Now I can take the money that my business makes and I can invest it, because ultimately, you know, as a self-employed person, the best way to end every year is break even. You do not want to show profit. Your profit gets taxed. The best way to not let that profit get taxed is to reinvest it. Steve says, the streets might know who you is, how you operate, depending on how you operate, but the algorithm is a whole different thing. Who you talking to, Steve? All right, welcome back, Regina. Say 2 people running facility like pandemic days. Let me see, BG says, hello, okay. All right, this is, what is this, BG4X? Thanks for stopping in. Thanks for the comment. My oh my said, I sleep in a storage place. I wake up before everybody else and shower in the gym. After that, I go to the library where I read and charge my e-bike battery. That is what I use for home lighting and bike. I use the bike to deliver. Okay, so you got a plan. So right now, you don't have a choice but to make things happen. Like everything, so that's what we're talking about, the difference between making things happen and letting things happen. Right now, you don't have a choice but to make things happen. And so what you're doing right now, my oh my, is you're going about taking the steps daily to make these things happen for you. Question is, do you have a plan? Do you have a next place to be? Do you have a next step? Is there an area of growth, or are you looking to maintain this? And so, Foxy, I want to ask, I don't know if you're still in there, Foxy, did you get my information? Were you able to hear what I said? Were you able to understand what I was saying in terms of investing in your business? Because right now, your investment in your business will grow your funds faster than your investment in someone else's. No problem. I'm glad I was able to help. I think that's one of the big things about making things happen, because to start that business, Miss Fox, you had to make things happen. Like you had to step out there. You had to take some chances. You had to know enough to be able to even get started. And then you had to do the work and you had to look to grow. And now you're in a position where you're like, okay, well, I'm making it happen. What's next? Like, can it be bigger? Can it be better? It has to be. Has to be both of those things. Wait. So Steve, you say you're on other people's clock, 65 hours a week, and you do school? So So right now you're letting things happen. As much as you're doing, right? Especially if you're telling me right now that you're not happy about that. Like if Steve, if what you're saying, if what you just put in the chat is where you are and you're not happy about it, that's because you're letting it happen. They have this this phrase, they say, what you're not changing, you're choosing. I think it goes a little bit deeper than that, but I understand what this is saying on the surface. On the surface, it's saying if you have something that's a problem for you, right? You gotta scratch that itch. Here's the thing, man. Don't tell me your back itch and you ain't gonna do nothing about it. You ever seen somebody when they back itch? I've done this. You ever seen somebody when they back itch, they be like, they're trying to scratch their back with their clothes. You ever seen anybody do that? You can't, listen, if you got an itch that needs to be scratched, if you're working 65 hours and you don't like it, and you're going to school and you don't like it, don't believe that this has to be your life. Right now, you're letting things happen. You're in a position where you see more benefit from working towards someone else's purpose and the comfort, and this is important, the comfort and security of knowing there's going to be a paycheck, knowing there's going to be money on the end. You're more secure in that than you are in the thought of kind of shaking some of this off, making changes, and then living more happy, living the way you want to live, right? You're letting things happen. And when you let it happen, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that letting things happen is a bad thing. I'm saying if you're not happy with what's happening, then you need to make things happen. At a minimum, like my oh my was saying, at a minimum, man, I'm making this happy. I'm good. I got my e-bike. I know where to get it charged. I know where to get my e-bike charged so I can make my deliveries. I know where I'm sleeping. I know where I'm showering. And I got a plan for where I'm going to be next. SC190 said, first timer here. Thank you being in for SC. David says, I need some advice. Okay, David, drop it in there, man. What you looking for today, David? What type of advice you looking for? Let's see if we're able to help out in any way. You got a whole chat here. You got a whole 12 people, David. Counting me, 13 people. Whole 13 eyes, 13 sets of eyes and ears waiting to hear. So I think one of the things that's going to be really important, I think one of the things that I found to be important was understanding that when I decide to do something, that I'm required to take action, or it's just a choice, right? Like you can choose what you want for dinner right now. You're like, okay, I'm gonna have this for dinner, right? It's not a decision yet. And it's important because this is the difference between making things happen and letting things happen. It's important because you can choose right now what you want for dinner. You can choose right now that you want to go on to a low-calorie diet. You can choose right now that you want to start running. You can choose right now that you want to start a business. You can choose that you want to change your life and do different things. You can make any of those choices right now. But your behaviors will tell us what you decided. Because if you make these choices and then you take actions that do not align with those choices, then you didn't decide to do it. That's your decision, right? I chose to live a better life and robbed 8 people and ended up in prison. Listen, you chose to, you made that choice, but you didn't make that decision. Foxy says, I run the business out of a home that I'm renting, have been in the entire time. Landlord will not sell to home to me. Okay, Foxy, buy another house. Matter of fact, you do in-home care for other people. So you have someone who goes to the house and provides the care to the people in their home. If that's what you're doing, maybe it's time for your business to buy an office, to buy a building where you can live and run your business out of. Maybe that's the next step your business needs to do. Maybe that's the investment you're talking about. Because now not only do you have a business, but you have a location, you have an address, you have a space that your business is paying for because your business needs this space, and that you are living in because you pay rent, right? And you're renting space from your business. James, life is unpredictable. It is indeed, James. David said, father of 7, lost my job of 10 years, lost a twin at 32 weeks, got behind in bills, electric on the verge of being shut off. I do have a new full-time job. Okay. What's the advice you're looking for, David? I hear what you're telling me your problems are. I hear what you're telling me you're facing, and dude, it's a lot. Hey, that's a mouthful. That's a whole lot. Tell me what it is that you want to do. Like, we can see that there's a lot there. It's a lot on the plate, right? What's the advice? What are you looking for right now? Are you for me? All I need is to get that degree to be in position to move forward to the next step. If that's your belief and that's your purpose and that's your direction, then take that step. Do that, Stephen R. Do it. Steve R. Steve R said, I want to get a house from the Detroit land bank, fix it in a year or so when I can get in position for it. Get started. Do that. Go do it. No, they live in, okay, so the people you care for live in the house you're renting. Your business most definitely, understand that you're renting, understand that you're under a contract. Your business most definitely needs to invest in buying a new facility. If your patients are in-house, your business most definitely needs to invest in buying its own facility, because you can control it better, you can manage it better, you can grow it faster, and your business will be taking on this cost as part of its growth. And this is how you turn it into a business versus a job. You have to start investing on growing to that space. So if what you need to do is bring on more people, bring on more patients so that you can grow, do that. D said, there are no resources available. Resources for what, man? You say you got a new job. Resources for what? Like I'm hearing the challenges. I'm not sure how to come up with money to avoid being shut off. I don't want my kids to see me fail them. Got you. So we got a lot in common. First and foremost, I got 7 kids of my own. When we had 5 kids, we got kicked out of an apartment during COVID, out on the street. Packed up all our stuff, moved it out. At a point when we had just moved from one state to another state. And we ended up living in a van, sleeping at rest areas. I get it. That's a fear. And you're like, man, I don't want my kids to see me like this. That fear creates apprehension. It creates this need to make something happen right now. Here's the first thing I need you to do, David. I just need you to take a second, man, and understand nothing you do today, right? Nothing that you do right now is going to fix all of this. It's the first thing. It's the first thing, David. We just, like, nothing you do right now is going to fix all of this. We have to take steps. I want to let you know, Foxy, David said call her. David, Foxy said call the electric company and tell them to give you some more time. There are other resources that you can call 211. There are things that you can do. First thing you need to do right now, though, David, is you need to take a breath, right? You need to take a breath and then understand that you're about to do some work and that your challenges are far more than financial. It was hard for me to understand that when I fell into this situation and they said time is up. I get it, man. I get it, David. They said time is up. And it's hard. And I'm not. There's this saying that I'm too broke to be poor. Like, I can't afford to be poor, right? Like, I don't make enough money to be poor. Because the things that poor people have to pay for, right? They have to do so in a way that it lasts, because I can't afford to buy something cheap, because I'm gonna spend all of my money trying to maintain that cheap thing. So I have to at least make enough money to be poor. And I know the feeling of not even being able to do that. Here's what we can do. We have to become proactive in our behaviors. We have to understand that, hey, it's not going to get fixed today, but we do have to take action. We do have to understand sometimes things going to go down before they go up. But we have to take action. We have to do it in a way knowing that this is going to be better. You had a job for 10 years, you lost the job. You got a new job. Okay, future's available to you. We have to start building things. We have to start working on things. We have to start understanding that what we're doing has a purpose. And when we have a purpose and we have a why, then we have a definition on what the next steps are. I'm not a, hey, what do you got to sell guy? You know, I'm not a, hey, what if somebody did this for you guy? I'm talking about practical, actionable steps that will impact things now and things in the future. We have to start taking those steps. And we have to start doing them understanding like it's easy, man. Trust me, I know what you're saying. It's easy to say, man, I'll suffer to get where I need to go, man. But when you look up and you were like, man, my kids gotta suffer. My wife gotta suffer. Like, it's not just me suffering. Like, my family has to suffer for me to get to my next spot. My family has to deal with this hardship because of me. It's a burden to carry. It's far greater than the cost of paying an electric bill. It's far greater than the cost or the challenge of being able to achieve anything else. It's the understanding that the experience that your family is having is within your hands to control, and at this point you feel like maybe you haven't managed it correctly. I know that. It's going to take time and discipline to fix it. I don't have the specifics. I don't have enough of the specifics to discuss it, but we know it can be done. David says, I even stop so low price. I get it. You started a GoFundMe. That's not stupid low. That's not stupid low. You're looking at every available way to be able to care for your family, right? You're looking at every way. You can put your GoFundMe in the chat. I don't care. Put the GoFundMe in the chat. See if there's opportunities for people to help. Here's the thing though, David. What has to happen for you, what had to happen for me, what's still happening for me, is learning to place my purpose in front of me and work towards it. Work towards achieving that, right? I have to be able to count the steps that I'm taking in order to get there. Tell me about your new job. What's the new job, David? I feel like it's one hit after another, and this valley has no hill to climb back up. I hear you, man. What's the new job? What's the work you're doing? Okay, you're an inspector for AT&T. Cool. All right. Electric bill is behind, right? Things need to be paid for. Don't get nothing out of beating a dead horse, right? So you just have to accept that now. Take a deep breath. Look, I don't care how bad it is. You got to take a deep breath, right? And understand that you're doing work to move ahead. Man, it's not easy. Man, I know it's not easy. Dude, I worked for the company I worked for during the day. I drove for Uber whenever I was free. This is when we got kicked out the apartment. Not Uber, I drove and delivered for Instacart whenever I was free. Slept in a truck stop, like I said, a rest area. Didn't have enough money, like my said earlier. Didn't have enough money to have a gym membership. So I had to bathe in the bathroom of the rest area. I get it. I know. And it's like something else keeps coming up. Gotta pay the phone bill. Gotta keep the phone bill, gotta keep the phone on, because I can't do Instacart if I don't have a phone. Gotta pay the car note. Gotta pay the car note because I can't get back and forth to work. Like, this is my house now. It's where I live. I get it, it piles up, but you gotta start ticking away at it, right? We had to start ticking away at it. We had to start working at it. We had to start understanding that we had to take money that we had. One, stop paying into dead debt. I was paying off debt that I was never going to get the return from. Credit cards and loans that I wasn't able to pay. And I'm still, here we are, me and my children and my wife, me and my family are living outside. And here I am trying to pay off this debt. Give me a second. Trying to pay off this debt for some reason. The reason I'm taking my time is because of what I'm saying to you is the truth of it is you got to do what you're doing, tighten the belt, and start thinking about growth versus surviving. It can't just be about, hey, how do we have to understand that as long as we're looking to survive, we're just trying to survive. Can you guys hear me? I know it went out for a second. If we're just trying to survive, we're going to get stuck. That's a mindset thing. We have to think long term. Listen, whatever it is that needs to be fixed today is going to take time. It's going to take time. Focus on getting it fixed. Okay? 190 says, I really needed to hear this. Glad I can help you. Glad this is could attribute. All right, sound is good. No, I don't do Instacart anymore. No, I don't do Instacart anymore. But it needed to. I have to now use my time in a more valuable way. I have to, like, dude, my mindset when I was doing Instacart is I'm home. I'm not making any money while I'm home, and I live in a car. So I essentially looked at it as someone else was renting space for their groceries to temporarily live in my car. I'm like, dude, I can make money with my house. I can rent out this back seat. Like, I can rent out this storage area just for a few minutes so people their groceries can live there, and I'll take them where they need. Dude, that was the mindset. Like, we were living in the vehicle. Ultimately, my children ended up spending some time with my mother. We had to drive them out of state to get them there. Ended up paying off a lot of the debt. Ended up building the financial situation, reestablishing the foundation for growth from there. But it took that. It took time, man. And it sucked. Last time we watched him a full hour with no audio. CS, were you there for that? Don't keep bringing that up, CS. Don't keep. Listen guys, true story. I was on here for an hour with the jibber jabber. I was like, man, they couldn't hear me until like the last 8 minutes. They couldn't hear me, and my chat wasn't working, so I couldn't see that they were typing stuff. Dude, you're talking about an hour of people just giving me the business. Thanks for coming back, CS. David said, I was doing DoorDash and Uber Eats while working 40 plus. Yes, sir. It's the grind. Here's the thing, man. Some stuff got to go away. Like, listen, football season went away. I'm a huge American football fan. And I like watching all football, like all the networks. So that 158 a month during the football season, nah. Listen. I was going to any restaurant that had football games on and ordering water. Y'all know what the poor man lemonade is? When you order water, some sugar packets, and a couple of slices of lemon, a couple of lemon packs. That's how I watch football for like a season and a half. Dude, I'm chuckling at this. I'm laughing at this because I know it took time. I know it took work. I know how it felt. And David, I know where you're at. Dude, trust me, you're gonna make it. Dude, I know, man. Every time you can't sleep, when you do sleep, you can't wake up. When you do wake up, it's you're having fits. It feels, and less than the ability to do it is the thought of what the people who know you and see you think about you, right? Like you mentioned, you're like, I don't want my kids to see me fail. Your kids love you more than that. Your kids love you more than that. Even if they don't know what's happening, they love you more than that. Care how tense the relationship is. So this is why I'm saying, like, it's difficult to take that on and be able to understand that and manage that. The only, man, listen, stay in prayer, but stay on your grind, right? You've got to, Noah said you hope. Listen, you gotta stay, you have to stay focused on the fact that you're working on something and that this current condition is just as temporary as the previous one. But then you have to change, and you have to, and the mindset of I'm not gonna be here again has to be outside of how do I make sure I can pay for this, right? It has to change from just how can I pay for it to how can I sustain it? How can I grow it? How can I become bigger? Cass says, any advice for younger guys, early 20s, thinking about marriage, focusing on the grind? Are you trying to choose between getting married and focusing on the grind? Kazzy, let me know if that's the question. Exactly. I hear you, David. That's absolutely right. Money can't replace the time with my kids. Time of something that can never get back. Exactly. You can get the electric back on, and you will. I get it. Like there's gonna be some belt tightening. Some things are gonna change. You're not gonna eat out as much, right? Might consider having to shop for cheaper car insurance. I ain't gonna say I let my insurance lapse on my vehicle. There were a couple of days where coverage had to wait for a payment. You have to prioritize. You have to put things in the right space. Kaz said, yes, choosing what to prioritize, looking for a godly woman or just focusing on building myself. Focus on building yourself. You don't have to look for a godly woman. I know, David, I know, man. Nah, Kazo, so you don't ever have to look for a godly woman. That's a misperception. Focus on yourself, become the man that God wants you to be. And then when the godly woman that God has out there for you, so here's the thing. Everyone believes they're like, hey, God's got a plan for me. God's got something in store for me. God's got something out there for me, right? So everybody's like, yeah, man, yeah. And it's like, so then you're like, well, I'm gonna sit here and wait. You can't sit here and wait for what God got for you. You can't sit here and wait for the job God got for you. You can't sit here and wait for God to make you the person who you need to be. You have to do that. You have to make yourself that. You have to work on yourself becoming that. When you do that work on you, all this other stuff happens. Don't even worry about that. Don't like I get it. You're in your young 20s, man, dude, if you can go 45 minutes without a conversation in some way involving a woman, you're doing a good job, man. Like, I get it, early 20s, but you still have to focus on you. That's part of what focusing on you is, right? Part of that growth, Kazo, is when you focus on you, you start becoming who you need to be. And that's part of that becoming, is understanding that who I need to be is not defined by who I'm with. And then you're not pressed as much to impress, to seek out, try to find or catch a woman. Indeed, build self. David said, thanks for the motivation and advice. New subscriber. Thank you for being here, David. Hey, man, keep me updated. Keep me updated as to what's going on, how you doing, man. But remember, it's going to take time. Stay focused. Stay in that discipline. Stay in that drive. Kazo says, thank you. God really used you and this stream to speak to me. I needed to hear this so much. I'm glad I could speak and share with you. Lord says, spider on your shoulder, by the way. Which shoulder, Lord? Which one? Which one? Which shoulder is it? You gotta... What's the Jay-Z song? Dirt on my shoulder, I need to brush it off. So, guys, today's talk, thank you all for being here. Everyone who participated, everyone who was a part, please take the opportunity to like, subscribe, and share. David has shared that his GoFundMe is under the name For Anyone. Not begging, so don't think that. No, but you could use some support right now. So David has his GoFundMe available. So if you have the opportunity to contribute to his GoFundMe, please step in, do that, help him and his family. Bro, you made me start gathering paperwork that I was procrastinating on for my new LLC. Good to see it, SE190. Keep doing it, man. People, this is the difference between discipline and motivation. The motivation is, hey, I saw something, I heard something, I did something that got me up and moving, right? Miss Foxy, no problem. Thank you for stopping in today. Discipline is when that thing isn't there, that driver isn't there, you're still able to get up and go. There are 4 pillars to discipline. It's repetition, followed by patience, that's going to have consistency, and finally, there's perseverance. And right now, David, you're in the persevering part. You understand that you have to continue to work to achieve something, but this preserving of your soul, this flavoring and this tenderizing of your soul is going to show when it comes out on the other side. All right? Keep up the work. Thank you very much. For everyone who came in today, thank you for participating. Thank you for being a part. I appreciate it. Again, please like, subscribe, and share. We're very near being monetized for the channel. When that happens, it's going to open up a lot more opportunities for us to be able to expand what we offer, how we share, and how we connect. Thank you all for being here. You guys have a great Thursday.